After watching Twice's performance at Victoria's Secret and seeing the reaction they've been getting from non-K-pop listeners, and after seeing aespa's performance at Good Morning America, it really got me thinking about why so many K-pop groups fail to truly break out in the West. I'm not really talking about Twice because Twice has a pretty big fan base here in America. It's not the biggest, but it is pretty sizable and respectable. But when it comes to many other groups, no matter how hard they try, they can never truly capture the West's attention. And today, I want to give my opinions as to why that is. Please note that I am from North America, so many of my opinions will mainly focus on this part of the West. I can't really speak much for Australia or Europe. Plus, when many K-pop stans have conversations about the West, they're mainly talking about America anyways, so yeah, let's get into it. The only groups I can confidently say have made it big in the West, to the point where even the average person might know who they are, is BTS and Blackpink. This might be controversial, but let me explain. I am not going off of streams or ticket sales or stats. I'm going based off of lived experience as someone who lives in America. Yes, there are many K-pop groups who have respectable fan bases in America, like Twice, Stray Kids, and even 17. But if you go up to the average person in America and ask them if they know what Stray Kids is, they'll be extremely confused. And that's not a drag. K-pop is getting bigger and bigger here in the West, and like I said, these groups have big fan bases in the West compared to their peers. But none of them have reached Blackpink or BTS level of popularity in America. I will say that recently, Stray Kids have been reaching new heights in their popularity here in America. But again, they're still not at that BTS or Blackpink level, and that's okay. I'm not here to compare. I'm just here to make a point. I have witnessed so many K-pop groups try their hardest to break into that Western market, but they fail almost every single time. One of the first reasons why they fail is because they try way too hard to make generic music like Western pop stars, instead of staying true to their sound. Let me explain. I've seen other K-pop stans talk about this topic, but they would word it like, K-pop groups try way too hard to be westernized, and I don't think that's a good way to word it. Since K-pop began, it has been westernized. Some of the earliest K-pop groups were just straight rip-offs of popular groups here in America. So no, I don't think that they try too hard to be westernized. I think that they try too hard to make generic music like Western pop stars here in America. I will never forget when TXT collaborated with the Jonas Brothers for their song, Do It Like That. And in an interview, Bang PD said that he really wanted the song to chart on the Billboard Hot 100.
To get American audience, British audience, and
what do you assume? What do you guess the rank of Billboard?
oh man.
But I think at least inside 20 on Billboard Hot 100.
Yeah. It's hard to predict hits and what chart position, but I think we could go top 10.
I think
And, well, it didn't chart on the Hot 100 at all. The song itself is decent, but it is overly generic, and it isn't anything you'd expect from a group like TXT, who is known for their unique title tracks, and not really sticking to the norm when it comes to their music releases. But still, since their company wanted TXT to have a hit here in the West so bad, they put them in a studio with the Jonas Brothers, asked Ryan Tedder to come up with the most generic/outdated production possible, and called it a day. And that's the problem. You want to break into the Western market, but you're trying to do so by making a version of a song that's been done a million times before. No one wants to hear that? The only way a song like that will break through on the charts is if it goes viral on TikTok because of a trend, or it gets heavy payola. The song was doomed to fail from the start. And this isn't me dragging TXT. I genuinely love their music. But I do think that whoever was in charge of this collab set them up for failure. These K-pop companies be so focused on trying to appeal to the West by doing the most generic things that they don't even stop to think about how they can try to be unique and capture the West's attention that way. Another great example is Loose by Enhypen. The song is decent, but very generic. It was obvious that their company only made this song to appeal to Western markets. They even made their US television performance debut with this song. But sadly, the song has yet to make any significant impact on American charts. Many K-pop groups have not only great music, but also creative, distinctive concepts. However, when they come to the West to perform or promote, their presentations often fall short of showcasing what truly makes them special. Like, so many K-pop groups have performed on American television shows like Jimmy Kimmel, Jimmy Fallon, Jennifer Hudson, and James Corden, and they perform on these shows to promote their songs to a Western audience. But here's the main problem with the majority of these performances. Majority of the time, there's audio issues. The backtrack is either too loud or their mics are insanely low, and that really doesn't help the case that many locals already think that the majority of K-pop idols can sing to save their lives. And if there isn't audio issues, the performances are genuinely just boring. I'm not even trying to be shady, but when you watch the majority of these performances, there isn't anything about them that separate them from regular music show performances that K-pop artists do in Korea. I'm not saying you have to do insane dance moves and acrobatic moves and hit Beyoncé-level high notes every performance. I'm just saying, how can you expect new people, especially here in the West, to want to check you out as an artist after watching your performance, when your performance is just stale? With a lot of these performances, they do the bare minimum. Execute the choreo. Try their best to sing live and look pretty. Nothing beyond that. So it's no wonder why locals aren't choosing to tune in to these K-pop groups after watching their performances on TV. Here's an example of the point I'm trying to make. EJ, Audrey Nuna, and Ray Ami are the voices behind the viral Netflix K-pop group Huntrix. Their song, Golden, is a true hit, not only in the US, but also worldwide. On October 2025, they performed the song on Jimmy Fallon, and they blew everyone away. Their stage wasn't perfectly choreographed. They didn't have an overly fancy stage set. All they had was their genuine talent, and that was enough. I used to hate this song, but seeing them perform it live was enough for me to actually tune into this group. And when EJ hit that high note, literally chills. Every time it pops up on my For You page or Twitter timeline, I literally have to stop scrolling and give the video my full attention. It's that good. This performance is proof that you don't need perfection. All you need is talent. It's not that American TV performances are bad forms of promotion. It's just that the majority of K-pop groups are doing it wrong. It's 2025. Audiences want authenticity and talent over perfection. Meticulously choreographed performances, while impressive, can often feel mechanical. Yet, many K-pop groups continue to rely on formulaic staging rather than showcasing their individuality and true artistry. In the West, charisma and authenticity often matter more than flawless choreography. When a group performs perfectly but shows no individuality, Western audiences don't see true, authentic artists. They see trained idols, or even robots. This ties into an even deeper issue. Many K-pop idols are not necessarily musicians at heart. Numerous idols have openly shared that they never intended to pursue music until they were scouted by entertainment companies for their looks, and later trained to sing and dance well enough to debut. As I've said in previous videos, there's often a lack of authenticity and true artistry within the industry. Of course, this doesn't apply to every idol, but it does affect some. When you're conditioned for years to be flawless and precise in everything you do, it becomes difficult to develop genuine charisma or individuality on stage. Much of this responsibility falls on the companies that create and train these idols. Still, there are performers who naturally possess talent, stage presence, and charisma, and when those qualities are nurtured and expressed authentically, the result can be something truly special. And then there's the obvious cultural translation gap. Many groups are trained for Korean audiences first, where the expectations for idols are totally different. Members rarely speak freely or show distinct personalities. Interviews often sound rehearsed because of language barriers and label control, and for many viewers, they're just awkward to watch. And that does turn some people here in the West away from K-pop, but I feel like if K-pop companies allowed groups to actually show their personalities a little, people here in the West could actually connect with them, regardless of the language barrier. But the thing is, these South Korean entertainment companies will always put Korea over everything, and since K-nets expect K-pop idols to be perfect all the time, I don't expect anything to change anytime soon. I understand that the Korean language barrier can deter some Western listeners. However, I truly believe that if the talent, music, and overall execution are strong, a K-pop artist has the potential to be popular in the West, while still maintaining success in Korea. All in all, I believe that if K-pop groups prioritized showcasing their individual talents and artistry over delivering perfectly choreographed performances, they could achieve greater success with Western audiences. Now more than ever, Western audiences value authenticity over perfection. Until that shift is reflected in how K-pop groups present themselves, I don't expect many new acts to reach the level of success that BTS and Blackpink have achieved in the West. If you like this video, subscribe and leave a like, and comment your thoughts below, and I'll see you in the next one.